everybody? My name is Shortline K19, and I am happy because you know why? Because I am on spring break. We got the Space Engineer soundtrack up, uh, very celestial, and we're gonna now play Kerbal Space Program. Let me turn it down a bit on my end. But yeah, we're gonna play Kerbal Space Program. We're gonna continue to launch our communication satellites. Um, let's get into it. I am officially now on spring break, which is really wonderful because I am, well, I'm really happy about that. And I have a whole week off. Well, kind of. I still need to do work during the week, but that's besides the point. Um, but I really don't have much to do aside getting some work done over the break. I can just relax and do what I need to do. So last time we worked on building out our Odysseus 1B launch vehicle so we can begin to launch communication satellites. This is our Odysseus 1B right here. Looks very nice. I'm very happy about how this vehicle has turned out. And now that we've built it, we should do something with it. And that thing, of course, is launching communication satellites. Now, excuse me, I'm tired. The way I'm gonna go about doing this is, launching one communication satellite at a time, because this is rated for 9 tons direct to geo. Launching one communication satellite at a time is kind of, that seems like a bit of a waste. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna see if I can go ahead and co-manifest 2 payloads, 2 communication satellites. Now, I actually already have a satellite bus in which I can use to actually make our communication satellites, and this is it. This was ServSat. It was just kind of a test proof of concept. But what we can do is we can swap this out for a relay antenna. And there, we have a communication satellite. I don't know what to call it. Let's call it Hermes comms. Okay. Let's just call it Hermes, because, Hermes is the messenger. Hermes, let's call it Hermes A. So yeah, that is fairly simple. Oh, there actually is a little bit of glitching inside one another. So in that case, let me go ahead and let's see. I prefer Zoidberg. Hello, Throwville. Welcome in. I don't know why. Can I disable the node match size on this? Or node match size is off. There we go. But welcome in. How are you doing today? I hope you're doing well. I am now on spring break, which is nice. Okay, let's just go ahead and make it like that so it's not glitching into the thing as much. Actually, can we just... There we go. Yeah, there we go. That works. Okay, so there's our Hermes communication satellite. Rimple as, really. And let's go ahead and just integrate it on our rocket. Now, I will say, what was I gonna say? I don't remember what I was going to say. Um, let's see. Let's see. Can we launch 2 of these on here? We'd be able to do that. Yeah, we can fit 2. Okay. So I want to keep the docking port on there because we need to, you know, can I... Let's go ahead and put another fairing on this. So this is how I'm going to go about doing this. I'm going to take one of these, put that on there. Let's see. Can I not make this bigger? I guess I can't. Okay. This is gonna require a little bit of funkiness. But yeah, I hope everyone's doing well today. As I said, I am now officially on spring break, which is nice. Feels kind of weird that the semester's over halfway over at this point, but hey, that's how things go. Let's go ahead and... Okay, do you see the vision about how exactly I'm gonna go about doing this? Okay. Actually, is this something that's even doable? Can I even do this? I might need to introduce a version with a extended fairing. But I guess we shall see. Hold up. There we go. You know what? Clamshell deploy. Oh yeah, that's gone beyond. Okay. You know what? I think I'm gonna put a different soundtrack on. The Space Engineer soundtrack is cool and all, but I realize it's kind of like low. Can we just put on the Can we put on the SimCity soundtrack? Am I gonna get an ad? No, I am not. Hold up. Let me go ahead and fix this real quick. Because go ahead and here we go. UT99 OST. Hold up. Let's check that out real quick. Unreal Tournament 99 soundtrack. Am I gonna get an ad? No, I am not. Let's go ahead and take a listen. Hold up. Adjusting audio, as you can see. There we go. Does that sound good? In terms of audio? Okay. Very quiet. Okay, let me turn it up a little bit more. Okay, how about there? Is that okay? Is that good? That's good. Okay, excellent. Oh, this reminds me of like Mythbusters. Oh, that's fantastic. Okay, hopefully it's not too loud, but okay, Okay, I think for this special flight, we're actually going to need an extended fairing. So let me go ahead. Both it and the sequel are free. Oh, nice, nice. Let me go ahead, build fairing. Okay, there we go. We have with bigger, wider fairing. Okay. We're gonna save that. And now, let's see. AEFF2. We're gonna put that on there. We're gonna take that off. And because I have that now, we're gonna do docking. Let's see. I know how we're gonna do this. Oop. Over spring break, I am hoping to stream maybe a bit more Kerbal Space Program. I'm thinking in terms of spring break streams. Pat finally got the new Railroader mod pack up and running, which is excellent. And means we're probably going to play Railroader over break. We're going to start our new save. We're going to do something a bit different. We installed the Asheville extension mod. So the map is, instead of extending out the normal, destination towards Bryson and whatnot, we're going to extend out towards, well, I guess in this case it would be Asheville. Build fairing. So that's gonna be fun to do, because I don't know, I feel like when in terms of Railroader, everyone always just does the same thing where yeah, clamshell deploy. Everyone always just kind of does the same thing where they extend out towards, Bryson first and then work their way towards Andrews. But I want to do something a bit different. So okay. Haven't heard anything about Railroads Online for years at this point. Railroads Online, is it just dead? Is it just... Because I know they went through all that drama. I think what ended up happening with Railroads Online is they saw that, I don't know, Century of Steam was going to become a thing, and they're like, eh. And they just decided, we're not going to do this anymore. Because, okay, I played Railroads Online, and I've talked about this before on my Railroader streams, where, I don't know why I'm redoing this, but, where the concept behind Railroads Online is great, it's just that the execution is kind of meh. The game is kind of, even still, kind of a buggy mess. And I think the red flag that a lot of people ended up having was, oh yeah, we're going to focus on adding all these features. And I'm like, well, how about fixing the game that you currently have? Because adding all the features is great if you don't have a solid foundation upon which to build them. And with Railroads Online, it just felt like, flash over function, I guess you could say. Where it just felt like they were trying to add stuff, but the foundation of the game just wasn't sturdy enough. And with, you know, Railroader and Century of Steam and all that being worked on, it just, most people were starting to ask, like, okay, why even bother? The game just kind of died out. Which, I mean, is a shame because, you know, the concept is great, of course. Now, personally speaking, I couldn't get too much into Railroads Online in and of itself for the simple reason that, to me, I didn't really care much for the actual building aspect, like building the rail lines. And that's obviously, I want to say that actually building the rail lines is probably one of the major features of the game, which sounds a bit ridiculous. Like, how can you not get into that? It's like, I don't know. I just much prefer to run trains than to build track. And my issue ended up being, like, once you actually built everything out, there really wasn't much to do in terms of continuing the gameplay. Because you build your system with Railroads Online, where you have a bunch of, you know, set industries, and it's an industry train, you build things between them. I already don't much care for the actual building of the track, and that just leaves the running. And the running section felt like you'd set it up to basically act like a conveyor belt, which I didn't particularly find all that interesting or engaging after a certain point. Where with Railroader, part of the reason why I like Railroader so much is that the industries are a lot more dynamic. Odysseus 1B with Hermes Comsats. Let me see exactly what I did. Odysseus 1B with Hermes Comsats. Okay, there we go. Set text Hermes A. Set text Hermes B. Okay. Okay, there we go. We have our communication satellites up on there. Oh, we need to save the extended fairing goes up there. Save. Let me just take a look. Save. Let's also save Hermes 1B, or Hermes 1B with wider fairing, or Odysseus 1B with wider fairing. Yeah, that still works out just fine. Okay. Okay. The one thing I will credit Railroads Online for is it really did kick off kind of this renaissance, I guess you could say, of train related games. So, you know, like Derail Valley has been around for a while. And then after Derail Valley, you ended up, you know, Railroads Online came out. And that ultimately ended up, you know, manifesting itself, well, obviously very directly in Century of Steam, which still isn't out yet, but then followed by, you know, Railroader as well. Where did I put my phone? I needed my phone for something so I could take a picture of the launch vehicle. Personally, I have a soft spot for logistics, operations, construction of my rare games. It's part of the reason why I love Rare Tycoon, Rails Across America, and OpenTDD to a lesser degree. Running the trains is the weakest aspect. Yeah, and that's what I most like doing, which is why I like Railroader a lot. So, hold up, give me a second. I need to find my phone. Hold up, I'm gonna glitch out temporarily while I get out of my chair. Where did my phone go? Where did it go? Oh, here it is. Okay. Wait. Let me just... I'm breaking my neck. Which is funny, because you think I'd like those games because I am actually a logistics major in college. I mean, I love OpenTDD. I haven't played it much in recent years, but it's still an amazing game. Transport Fever is another one that I played a lot when I was younger. Maybe I should go back to these games, but you know what? I think I have a lot on my plate right now in terms of, you know, games and what I want to do. Also remembered Rare Pioneer, which is a weird RTS with simulation elements. Interesting, interesting. Okay. We're gonna save. Oop. Odysseus-1B with 9-ton dummy payload. We're gonna load that up. I just gotta check. Because I made this in a very specific way. Okay. Open. Odysseus-1B with Hermes communication satellites. Okay. Oh yes, this is launch vehicle LV00. Oh, set text. Oh. Hello? Is it back up? Oop. That was weird. Yay, back up. Streamlabs just decided, like, I don't want to exist anymore. That's weird. I don't think I've had that in a while. My computer's been acting up recently, and I think I just need to do a complete reset on it. Just reset the OS. You know. But I'm gonna do that over break. Okay. Save. LV004. I'm also gonna actually briefly switch back to the spaceplane hangar because I need to... I like to make my craft files consistent across the SPH and the VAB. So I need to go to the spaceplane hangar. We also need to fast forward a bunch more days. Let's see. Odysseus-1B with Hermes communication satellites. Yeah, we need to make that LV004 because that's what it is. As I said, don't know how long I'm going to stream for tonight. It might just be this mission, or maybe we'll do one other after. But I got to drive home tomorrow from college back to my parents, and that is a 4-hour drive. Even more if there's traffic in Atlanta, which there inevitably will be. And of course, when I go on extended breaks like that, typically I do take my PC with me. So I need to disconnect after the stream tonight because I want to leave, not like first thing in the morning, but pretty early on tomorrow morning. I want to I need to disconnect all of my computer stuff. Dang, now you're looking at the Steam library for all the train games I want to play. Yeah, I mean, I'm mostly focused on Rolling Line right now, mostly because it allows me to, allows me to do fictional railroading things, which I absolutely love. But it's perfect. So I don't know, maybe if I have more time, I'll go back to some other game. Some other games. Transport Fever and OpenTDD and all that. Sweet Transit is just Anno with Factorio trains instead of trading. Okay, okay. Let me go ahead and load up the 9-ton dummy. Just to check. Hermes 1B, Comsats. I guess this technically means this is the first operational launch of this vehicle. Yeah, we're getting into the operational missions now, so. Oh, I just loaded up the same craft file again. Wild West Steam Loco was titled Iron Horses when I was a kid. Is literally just a Wild West theme model railroad simulator. Nice, nice. I mean, I could probably just get the same experience with Rolling Line, but there's some Wild West maps in Rolling Line. See, I've quickly realized when it comes to Rolling Line is that I feel like I'm approaching the point in that game where I might actually have to start making my own maps and dioramas and whatnot, because just a lot of the stuff that's out there doesn't exactly fit my needs. But it's from like 2004, and the only reason why I remembered is I pirated that shit when I was 7. The first game I ever played was Sid Meier's Railroads. I still have it, and it's still an amazing game to play. Especially Sid Meier's Railroads in multiplayer is really fun. If you ever get the opportunity to play it with other people. It's from 2006, so it's kind of janky at times, but you know. Windmills. I guess we can have windmills now. Okay. So I think we are all... Got the one for my birthday when I was like 9. The multiplayer is fun. When your brother isn't the sweatiest MP gamer in the world. What is really fun is whenever we have meetups, me and my friends, you know, whenever I get together with like Ryan and Alex and Pat and all of them, we always do Sid Meier's MPs, and it's really funny because Jack is really good. I would say I'm pretty decent as well. Jack is better than me. Oh yeah, we should revert to VAB and skip time a little bit. Jack is better than me. Ryan, Steven, the rest of them, they're decent. They're pretty decent. So it typically comes down to, because it's only 4 people, right, who can play at a time. So typically there's 5 of us together, so one of us typically sits out or coaches another player. And it's always really fun because we are, despite our varying skill levels, we are varying degrees of sweat. I lock in hard on Sid Meier's multiplayer. I'm not like sweaty. I'm not actually sweating. You know, if I lose, I lose. It's all fine and good. I won't get upset. But it is really fun because it is really competitive with the group that I do it with. So My only complaint about Sid Meier's multiplayer is that the map sizes are too small. Because the way it typically works is you have your starting your setup is pretty critical, but everything has sort of been silently decided by about the mid game. Because by late game, you've basically all covered the map at that point, and whoever wins, whoever is taken a lead by the mid game will come out on top in the last game, in the last part of the game. Yeah, there is that website. We've used some of that. The problem with some of those maps is that the way they're set up is really weird. Like, they'll start super late, or the industry chains will be really long and complicated, and you really can't properly compete. Because, you know, the industry that you're going to have the supply chain maybe halfway across the map. I feel like the ideal Sid Meier's multiplayer map would be just take one of the existing maps and just blow it up like 3 times, but you still have the same density of cities and industries and whatnot. It also reminds me that Rare Corporation exists and it scratches that itch even if it's only 2-person multiplayer. I have not heard of that game. Turn it down a little bit. Okay. Yeah, I don't think I'd want to do two-person multiplayer. That just seems kind of meh to me. Because I've done 2-people multiplayer, like Sid Meier's ones, and it's just not as fun. 3 people, I feel like, is the ideal. Stretch. A good stretch before launch. Okay, here we are again. First operational mission. Hold up. And first mission with the extended fairing. So, we'll see how this goes. It's the only major gripe I have with Rare Corporation. Hopefully they fix it in the sequel. Nice, nice. Okay. Before I do anything, I'm gonna quickly poke around on Discord, because, you know, some people will just ping me in the middle of a launch, and I'll be like, ooh, squirrel. Okay, let me close that out. Okay, chat, it's launch time, and you know what that means, which is that, because it's launch time, we're just gonna be quiet, and I'm gonna lock in on the launch. So, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, go for main engine start, 3, 2, 1, 0, and liftoff of the Odysseus 1B on its first operational mission carrying the Hermes communications satellites. Okay. And gravity turn. There we go. Pretty stable, all good. We'll back up. Oh, this is very pretty. Okay, coming up on booster separation. Go rotation. There we go, booster sep, side course sep, throttle up. Continuing with the center core. Okay, 40 kilometers, we can get the fairing deploy now. There we go, fairing deploy. Alright, we have the altitude, now it's just a matter of gaining the speed. Flatten out at this point. On that center core. Some min-miss back there. Okay. Excellent, excellent. We're beyond the Kármán line now. Well, Kerbal Kármán line. Okay, okay, here we go. Okay, almost in orbit. So close. You do not know me. Yes, yes, I do. I know you, Ryan. I know who you are. Oh, I accidentally cut the engines, even though I did not mean to. I do not know you. Who is he even? Set to prograde. Okay. How are you doing today, hello lobster? Oh, no more landing. I don't even know why I had that up. Oh, it's from before. Okay, camera turn. We're now mostly in an orbit. E7. And... well, core stage cut off. Alright, 100 by 79, that's perfect. We'll get ourselves into our 100 by 100 traditional customary parking orbit in a moment. Rare elves, hundreds in number, are encroaching Michaelandia at alarming speed, making quick work of the hapless defenses of one Mr. Michael of the Jackson Nature Park Tourist Railroad. Yeah, true, true. But we have made it into orbit. Perfect. We're going to do one more burn up here. To circularize ourselves. How do you respond to these allegations? I say good. The Rare Elves are truly the great ones. They're the real OGs. Mr. Michael is going down. Okay, we're in orbit now. Use the verniers to kind of better orient ourselves. Okay, have a nice little relight. Get ourselves into a 100 by 101. Good enough. There we go. And now what we do is we extend these solar panels out. And there we go. We are officially on orbit, so we'll just have that wait a little bit. And then we'll have the core stage. Well, the core stage needs to come back over land. Or land? It needs to come back over water. So we'll just... I don't know, we'll target, like, right there. You know what would be kind of interesting? Say we're going to build a massive space station. Because these on the heavy version of this make it to orbit, we could just have a modified version of this that uses, like, a truss. Rather than just a traditional truss segment on a station. That would actually be cool. That's a great idea. We should file that away in the future. Okay, well, because I do not care about this booster anymore, we're just gonna have it spin and... Oh, how fast can I get this to spin? We could leave it on orbit and suck the fuel out of it. I didn't even realize that's something that... Yeah, we could do that. Huh. Okay. Wait, no, I don't need the LV-002 upper stage. Army's communication satellite. Which two? Okay. Okay, so one thing I do need to look up, KSP geostationary orbit height. 2,863 or something. Okay. Let's go ahead. And light the engines. Here we go. We're off. Come on. There we go. How long have we been going for? About 50 minutes or so. As I said, probably going to be a bit on the shorter side. I guess it kind of depends on what I want to do. How long this mission goes. Okay. Okay, now that I'm thinking about it, the idea of using the core stages of the 1B rockets as like space station trusses, how the heck would we even go about doing that? Because it's affixed on like one end. We can only place a docking port on like one end. 2,863. Good enough. The objective is just to get near it, not I thought it was no. 2,000. Oh no, that's the correct one. Yeah, that's not in a geostationary orbit. That's in a near geostationary orbit, I guess. I guess I transposed some of the numbers here when I went to go do this. Oh well, is what it is. Okay. Relight. Oh. Aha, yes. Can I do something really stupid? Sure. 2,800. Oh, nice. Okay, we're also gonna warp over here. We're gonna do a bunch of burns to try and get us into an orbit that's as close as we can to, and then we'll... let's see. I'll redeem the Amtrak game in a moment. Okay, what do I think? What do I think that I choose Eastbound Empire Builder. Let's see, is there any snowstorms in the country right now? I'm gonna say the Floridian, or... Well, I'm trying to pay attention to some of these numbers. The Floridian or the, I don't know, like Texas Eagle. Floridian or Texas Eagle are my two picks. I did overshoot there. I'm kind of an idiot in that regard, but there we go. Okay, let me go ahead and get up the Amtrak game up real quick. Amtrak tracker. Displays. That's OBS. Here we go. I think the answer is none of these things. Texas Eagle, just an hour late. There's one that's 58 minutes late. There is a Hiawatha that's 1 hour late, and then there's a Northeast Regional that's 3 hours late. Is it the Northeast Regional that's the latest? Floridian, 2 hours. How was it 3 hours late? Okay. Unless I'm missing something, I think the latest train is this Northeast Regional. 31 minutes late into Newark, New Jersey, but it did make up some time. Oh, it was really late leaving Washington. Okay, I don't know, maybe it was just due to that funky smell. Oh no, that was at 4 in the afternoon. How late's the Canadian? The Canadian is 15 hours, 29 minutes late. It's well, back to doing this. Okay. First communication satellite, we're gonna undock. There we go. First communication satellite we're going to undock. This is the Hermes A, so we get to rename this control. Let's see. Rename vessel, relay, Hermes A. And okay, so we're gonna warp over there. And now it's just a matter of carefully nudging these into their proper orbits. So go ahead. 1864, okay. And now we're gonna actually thrust limit these. Hold up, I always forget what. What button are these attached to? Oh, N. Okay. Thrust limiter is N. Okay. $1,864. Okay. So we're gonna just use these thrusters to adjust ourselves. And then 63. 63.3. Okay, there we go. And now warp over there. Periapsis. Oh, nope. Perseus is not on. Okay. $60. Oh, I overshot. Hold up. 2,800. Wait, 2,800. Oh yeah, that is way. Well, let me. Okay. And now very, very precise maneuvering here. 63.3. Okay. And you know what? That's in geostationary orbit. That's good enough. Where even is this? This is over like the opposite side of the planet. Okay. So, Hermes 1A is now deployed. I fear I need to lock in so many different areas. Good night. Good night, Ryan. I will see you around. Okay, now with that communication satellite deployed, we're going to go ahead and deploy the fairing on that. Those will just disappear. And now... We're in basically a similar orbit, so... how do I want to go about doing this? Let's go ahead and lower our orbit by... I don't know, that much. And we're just gonna eyeball this, pretty much. 2, 3, 4, Okay, so if that is... let's actually focus on Kerbin for a second. So I need one right there, I need one right there, and I need one right there. So our relays are currently that much apart. Oh, I'm focused on a specific craft. Can I focus on Kerbin itself? Yeah, there we go. Or actually, if we're gonna put up 4, because one, I guess it's just gonna be kind of like a spare that we just have on orbit, just as, you know, for like realism purposes. So or maybe we can have 4, because you only really need 3. Okay. Okay, let's see. So let's just, for the sake of it, okay, so that's right there. That's right there. And then that's right there. Okay, we'll go around one more time. And then I think I'll declare it, hey, that's good enough. Okay. And it's not like I have to worry about fuel boil off, because this is, you know, not one of those. I'm not using hydrogen or anything, so like, okay, so geostationary orbit height. Periapsis is still not high enough. Okay. Okay. 863. 800. Okay, there we go. Okay. And you know what? We can actually drop this off right here. This is a good enough orbit where we can actually just drop the payload off right now and it'd be fine. So I think that's what I'm gonna do. We're gonna go ahead and undock that. Deploy that out. And we're gonna rename this now. Rename Hermes B. Now we're gonna coast to our apoapsis. A little relay antenna, nice. It's just relaying directly to the ground right now because, you know, it doesn't need to relay to anything else right now. Okay. Okay, geostationary orbit height. Okay, there we go. And now to periapsis. Yeah, it seems to be working pretty well. So that's definitely geostationary. Okay. Our tiny little thrusters, 0.5%. Oh. It's very, very precise. And now 63. There we go. Yeah, just point radial out. So you're pointing down. There we go. All right, first 2 batches are in orbit. Excellent, excellent. Let me switch back to the Hermes A real quick. Let me switch to that real quick. And we will check. Okay, they are both in orbit. So let's go ahead and where is my upper stage? Where did I leave this thing? Hermes 1A, Hermes 1B. Okay, there it is. Switch to. Okay, this is excellent. Now what we should be doing is... I'm gonna go ahead and... Do we want to do some little maneuvering around? What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna undock that. Oh, actually, let me go ahead and activate the RCS. That's just a little piece of space junk that we're just gonna go ahead and delete later. Because we have this upper stage that we can refuel with, or take them both back down. So, let's go ahead, add a maneuver. And I am going to have to use maneuver nodes for this. What would be if we just wait a couple of orbits? I don't know, if we drop down beneath it. And then... Well, that is close, but... 50 kilometers... 24... 22... 21... Okay. We'll just do 21 for the sake of it. This is in 5 days' time. Which is fine. We have all the time in the world to do this. Let's just go ahead and turn on the lights, because the lights look cool. I remembered I put lights on this thing, but I never actually bothered to use them. Okay. And this is actually going to be us inaugurating our fuel dump. Oh, I missed the burn because I'm an idiot. Sure, we'll do it anyways. Because what? It's still still 34 kilometers. Add maneuver. No. Let's focus on that. And then set as target. Yeah. We're going to go ahead and we're going to inaugurate our orbital fuel dump in low Kerbal orbit. Because we're going to send these tugs. We're going to fetch all these tugs. And we're going to have them come back into low Kerbal orbit. Which is already getting rather busy, despite the fact that, you know... Okay, where is our target? There it is. Going away from us? No, it's coming closer. Okay, now it's heading further away from us. So... All right. Right, okay. And now we're in a similar orbit now, so now we're gonna begin to head towards the target. While we're there, actually, let me go ahead and rename this. What's the standard? Odysseus LV0004. Odysseus 1 LV0004 upper stage. Okay, there we go. Because my idea is that like all of these have fuel left over in them, right? You know, if I can just effectively just create a space station in low Kerbal orbit where I bring these tugs back to, if I'm able to, and just use the fuel as basically use it as one big fuel dump. You know, I can design some sort of vehicle in which I can basically design a space tug, well, a larger space tug, or just refuel, use these as space tugs for various purposes. Now, of course, this is sort of locking me in on using at least liquid fuel and oxidizer, at least initially, compared to, because I do have parts mods that do have other fuel in them. Oh yeah, there's this. Let me go ahead and just get rid of that real quick. Where is the other vehicle? There you are. I just have you point at one another. Have you slowly start moving towards the other target. Oh, if the RCS is enabled, what the heck? Oh, limited probe control. Okay. Does this have limited probe control? No, it doesn't. Okay, that's bizarre. I don't know why one has limited probe control and the other does not, but it's literally the same upper stage. I don't know why it would be like that. But we do have the relays now, so okay. We're gonna come in close to this upper stage. We're gonna dock, and then we're gonna bring these back to low Kerbal orbit. That's the plan. Hello, James, a Duke Dog. Welcome in. How are you doing today? I am now officially on spring break, which is making me very happy. So I now have an entire week just to, I don't know, like, do whatever I want, pretty much. Which will include making Washington, Ohio stuff, so. I'm currently working on some box cabs based off the Virginian ones. So, can we switch? Let's switch to orbital just for the sake of. Okay, moving in. I do hope that you have enjoyed the W&O stuff so far. There's more coming. There's more coming. So, because I have actually done more reskins. I did some reskins for one of my friend's birthdays, but I'm not giving those out because I don't know if he wants me to just give out. Even though I made the reskins, it's his fictional, so I'm not going to give it out to random people. But other than that, everything that the EL2Bs, the SD45s, the FP45s, the still incomplete E33. And now the box cabs, which I want to get those done. So yeah, now we're just doing Kerbal Space Program because, you know, I feel like playing KSP. Good, I've greatly enjoyed the WNO stuff. Nice, nice. A little bit too hard of a docking. Well, or soft docking. Well, docking in KSP is basically magnets anyways, so... Okay, there we go. We now have these two vehicles docked together, which is very nice. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to shut down that engine, and I'm actually going to transfer all the remaining fuel into this stage. It doesn't really do anything, but it kind of helps. Okay. So, we've scavenged the fuel. I guess the main question is, do we actually want to take this back down with us? Or do we just want to abandon the stage up here? I'm thinking I might just want to abandon it up here, because we're going to have more launches into low Kerbal orbit anyways, so, to deliver fuel tanks and whatnot for this orbital fuel dump. Because as I said, my idea is that we'll start building out a station in low Kerbal orbit that basically just all the fuel from these upper stages around are scavenged, and just, you know, why let a resource like that go to waste? I actually think, hold up. I know with New Glen, they're kind of planning on doing something similar where, a lot of the upper stages for New Glen, they'll have, they'll dock them to something, and then the remaining fuel that it doesn't burn will just be transferred over. Okay. So there we go. This is just going to sit here pretty much. Hold up. Yeah, this pretty much is just going to sit here in this orbit. I don't know why it has limited probe control. Is it in hibernate? Oh, it is in hibernation, that's why. Hibernation. This is just going to go in hibernation until I will somehow need, if I ever need the monopropellant up here, it'll just be sitting. This, though, we're going to start to back away. And we're going to bring this thing back down to the low Kerbal orbit. Let me just move out of the way before I do a deorbit burn. Also going to quick save because I want to see if I can aero brake this. So go ahead, light up the engine, and we are off. Goodbye. What altitude do we want to aero brake at? Maybe like 60 kilometers just to be safe. Yeah, we'll do it just to be safe. So. All right. think I might do one more mission after this for the communication satellites, just to knock it all out. Actually, what time is it? It's 8. Okay. I've only been going for like an hour. That's fine. As long as I'm out the door by like 9 o'clock tomorrow, I should be good. Okay. 60 kilometers. Okay. Dropping out of orbit. We have been flying this for 20 days, which means that next time around, when we can just launch another payload after this. We don't need to do any extra time warping. Hopefully this does not go horribly, because we are coming in from fairly steep trajectory. Not steep trajectory, but fairly high speed. This is just an aero braking test to see if something like this is even feasible, or maybe, I don't know, maybe we might need to put a heat shield on the front. Oh, we're not even in atmosphere yet. Okay, there we go. Now we're in atmo. You know, I wonder if anyone's done, like, where are the plate tectonics located on Kerbin? A serious geologic analysis of Kerbin. Okay. In atmosphere. Arapoapsis is coming down. Slowly, but it is coming down. We might need multiple aerobrake attempts, because the whole point is I'm going to try and save as much fuel as I can, so... Maybe for a lot of the final maneuvering we'll use our monopropellant thrusters. It is heating up. Let's go ahead and check the heat. Critical part is the engine. Okay. Now we're headed back up. I really didn't do much, but we didn't really go all that deep into the atmosphere, so... Yeah, we can probably go deeper on the next pass. Yeah, that barely bled off any speed at all. Yeah, we need to go deeper. That's fine, though. We can go ahead and we can do that, so... Okay. Yeah, that was barely anything. Let's go ahead and warp back up, and let's do a bit of a deeper pass, right? Let's go ahead and, because I want to save my main fuel, and I can afford to use the monopropellant. Let's go ahead and dip down to 55 and see what happens there. Or maybe we'll do 50. Why not? We're gonna quick save. Gonna warp down there. Didn't redeploy the solar panels, but we have a big battery on it, so it's all good. Okay, second pass around. Let's see what happens this time. Pull up. Uh, okay. Oh my gosh, I tabbed out for a brief second, which I probably should not have done, but I'm a bit of an idiot. That is very high. We are bleeding off a lot more apoapsis, though. Although we will see. We're almost down at our periapsis, so that bled off actually a decent amount. Yeah, now you're getting into serious atmospheric entry here. About to pass the periapsis though, so oh yeah, 51%. Maintaining, it's pretty steady. I'm paying attention to all of these numbers. How do you like the UT99 soundtrack? This is great. I'm going to use this definitely in the future. Okay, yeah, it's going down now, so because we're headed back up. So yeah, we can do a fair bit of Broski. I just need the W no passenger. Brother, I literally sent it to you. I literally sent it. Pat, I sent you the fucking W and O stuff. I sent you the texture file for the E8. The E8, the FP7. You just go in there, pick the colors. I literally, hold up, I forget what expressions I have. Oh, that's my hat. I literally sent you it. You absolute... I was watching a show today, and one of the characters in it said, "I'm an absolute chud," and that just sent me spiraling. So, Pat, Pat, you as our wise friend Alex would say, you chud. Okay, I do actually need some more battery, so let's go ahead and deploy those out. We're at 65 kilometers. That's fine. But hey, that actually worked. That actually worked a fair bit. Look how much of a dent that put in that. Okay. Cannibalistic humanoid underground dweller. Yes, exactly. My geology lab teacher, when we were talking about geology stuff, he brought that up. He's like, you know, have you ever seen any chuds? And he's like, well, chuds probably has a much different meaning for your generation than mine. And he said, yeah, cannibalistic human underground dweller. What does this rocket do? Hello, Crimminch0802. Welcome in. This is only the upper stage, but this is my Odysseus 1B rocket, which it's meant to deliver communication satellites out to distant geostationary orbits. And I am now bringing this back to low Kerbal orbit because it has fuel left over, and I want to make like a fuel dump in low Kerbal orbit. And, you know, instead of just deorbiting it, why don't I bring it back so that I have the fuel? So that's what I'm doing. Right now I'm just doing some aerobraking to get into the proper orbit and whatnot, so while berating Pat for being a chud. Train dude 069. Indeed. Don't need land, don't need rendezvous anymore. We already did our rendezvous. Sick, yes. I'm mainly doing some testing to see how much aerobraking I can get away with on this thing. It appears to be 50 kilometers appears to be about the max. Maybe 45, but I'm kind of taking it safe. My whole idea is with my upper stages, I want to, I gave them solar panels, I gave them RCS, because after it completes its mission, the idea is that it flies back, and the remaining fuel flies to a fuel depot of some kind. It puts the fuel in the fuel depot, and of course it's also an upper stage already, so it's already a space tug, basically, so it can refuel there and take another payload out somewhere. I've just started this save. I haven't really done much in it yet. Right now, I'm just deploying communication satellites up here. Okay, yeah, that's working pretty well. We'll do a couple more passes. Yeah, 50 seems about doable. Maybe we'll see how much that cuts that down. I don't know, how many more passes could we do? Maybe like 2 or 3. Let me take a sip of my water. Man, I said, oh yeah, it's gonna be a quick stream, you know, just gonna do a mission or two, you know, 2 of these flick missions, and I've been going for like, well, hour 30 minutes at this point, so. Water. My Falcon 9 water bottle I have down here. Post a pic of my rocket in the gaming channel on Discord. Oh. Ooh, very nice, very nice. It looks a lot like New Glenn. um... So, this rocket, Odysseus 1B, it's kind of like if you took Atlas, like the original Atlas, not Atlas 5, and threw it together with Zenit and had like a 3-core variant with Asus on top. It's... Once I'm done with the mission, well, we're gonna fly another one of these missions afterwards, but you'll see. It looks very nice. So. Yeah, I'm still... 21 days, okay. Gonna go through on another pass. You know, a newer version, I should probably, for future versions, put a heat shield up there. Maybe even make that a shielded docking port or something. But, so we can do deeper aero brakes. I don't like to use physics warp because phys warp causes a memory leak apparently, and I just, yeah, no, I'm not doing that. But yeah. So I guess after the communication satellites get launched, I guess our next thing would be we could just... Because if I want to have a lot of these docked together to act as a fuel depot, they only have one docking port. There's not a docking port on the other side. And I couldn't do that without completely redesigning this upper stage. So what I think I'm going to do is have like a truss segment on orbit. And yeah, have the truss segment on orbit and then just have these things docked to it. So... And that can effectively act as my fuel depot. Yeah, that... Charmic, you're posting that, and I'm like, that's just New Glenn 9x4. They should really get a better name for that, but, Okay, we are burning off more speed. Actually, looking at it, we might be able to get away with a deeper aero brake, because that maxes out at about 50. Maybe we can take it down to 45. That would be nice. We'll see, we'll see. What the final apoapsis height is. The one isn't reusable, but I can modify it. Yeah, the upper stages are reusable on mine, but the first stages are not. That would cut way too much into payload. I do have some vague idea of down the line eventually making a bigger first stage that actually can fly back, but initially I'm just sticking with expendable stuff because I wanted to actually get this save up and running rather than, you know, focus on stuff like that. Okay. Okay, 100, 250. Okay, we're gonna we're gonna head to Apoapsis. We're gonna decrease that to about 45, and then we'll see what happens there. We in orbit? No, we're not. Okay. Well, we are in orbit, but we're not above the Kármán line yet. Yeah. Okay, 68. Okay. Warp up there. Now, I do have, as I said, I do have a mod which adds different fuel types. There's hydrogen and methalox, or hydrolox and methalox. This is, I guess, representative Keralox, I guess. But this is the only fuel type that doesn't boil off. So that's part of the reason why I'm using it. Because if I want to do stuff like this, I mean, hydrogen is more efficient, right? It's way more efficient. But, you know, you need to actually counter the boil-off, and that requires a lot of heavy power and radiators and stuff like that. I just don't want to have to deal. Same, I disable boil-off. See, I like to keep it, because eventually I do have an idea where I do actually have a hydrogen upper stage for a future iteration of this rocket, for, like, really high-energy payloads. But I don't know. Just for my initial stuff, I don't like to, when I start a save, I don't like to go too crazy right away. I like to build up to things. It bugs out at high time warp even with enough charge. Yeah. Also, the original version of this vehicle, the Odysseus 1A, which is the center single stick. Odysseus 1B is the three sticks, 3 cores. That stage is relatively low, so a hydrogen upper stage is kind of eh. So oh well. In the future, I'll have a hydrogen upper stage, but I just kind of wanted to start with something simple. Alright, one more pass. We'll see what happens on this one. This is a bit of a gamble, but hey, that's spaceflight after all. Oh, so my friends are in a voice chat. I probably won't get to join them because I kind of want to do another mission after this, and then we'll finish the stream from there. Okay, we gotta pay attention now to critical thermal percentage. This pass is a risky one, not gonna lie. So I forgot to quick save too. Oh well. Worst case scenario. You know what? Screw it. Never mind. We're not. Even if this blows up, we're not doing that. We're taking the risk. This is why you test. And it's not like I have this on a particularly high setting anyways, so it's not like... it's not like I'm gonna die. Okay, that was a lot more successful of a pass. Okay. This might be the one. Okay, we're headed back up. No cheats, we die like men. Exactly, exactly. Okay, we are headed on the up now. Okay, 45 kilometers does appear to be doable. Of course, that was from a much... Well, the speed difference between coming from here and coming from here isn't too much. This does make me wonder, because, I mean, I mentioned New Glenn earlier, but Blue Origin does have that inflatable heat shield. Like, if you want to aerobrake GS2s or GS3s, if, you know, they could do that. So... Okay, that was actually really successful. We're not even done yet. We still have, some left to go. One more pass, I think we should be good. I don't know if it'll be at 45 kilometers. Probably not. Oh, my roommate's going somewhere. I'll probably raise the Apple periapps just to 50 because we are actually so low nowadays. Or nowadays now. Or actually, maybe we can try again. We'll quick save at Apoapsis and then we'll see what happens from there. Dang it, Joe. Joe pinged me and a bunch of other... My friend Joe, who makes a webcomic, he pinged me. He's like, get in VC. I'm like, I'm streaming. Actually, yeah, we won't raise. We'll try again at 45. Sure, why not? Because that bled out. That should get us to down here, and then from there on, we can just, you know, do a circularization burn and get into orbit just fine. Yeah, 24. We went from a several-hour orbital period to 24 minutes. Very nice, very nice. Warp up to there. Man, it's kind of crazy to me that stuff like this will become commonplace in about a decade or so. I don't know. I was just thinking the other day, you know, 10 years is a long time, right? 10 years ago, I think, when was Orbcomm 2? When did SpaceX land their first booster? 10 years ago? 2015? Orbcomm 2 was December 2015, right? Orbcomm 2. Yeah, Falcon 9 Flight 20. Yep, over 10 years ago. And now you have, like, Falcon 9 launching every week. And you have new entrants, like New Glenn and all of that. I'm just thinking, man, where's the launch? What's the state of launch going to be like in 10 years' time? You know, is Starship going to be as successful as people are hoping it will be? Probably not. It'll still probably be decently successful. You have, like, New Glenn 9x4, maybe, like, Stoke Nova probably launching a whole bunch. It's just, I don't know. Time is a funny thing. Oh, I was, time warping. I do not want to time warp or fizz warp in the atmosphere because it causes a memory leak. Okay, here we go. This will probably be the last pass that we do. Yeah, we're not going to need another one after this. It bleeds off about 150 meters a second, I've noticed. Okay. Gotta pay attention. Man, this is great, because this is, on paper, like, I forgot how long missions take in KSP, because on paper this is a relatively simple mission. You're just going, well, simple. You're deploying 2 communication satellites in geostationary. You gotta get them positioned, and then you gotta bring this thing back down. And then on our second flight over, the second flight, we're probably gonna have to dock another stage. So that's gonna be interesting. At 45. We're not even fully down yet, so... feel like the music is very appropriate here. Let me bring that over here. I don't need you, Mech Jeb. There we go. Okay, yeah, we are back on our... We're on our way up now. That is very pretty. Visual mods... I love the visual mods. They're great. Alright. Yeah, by the time we get back up, that'll be at a relatively respectable altitude, and we won't do another pass. We'll just, we won't risk it. We'll just, do our circularization at that point. Actually, though, it depends on how much. Do I want to risk it again? Do I want to try again? I've been just doing arrow braking for like 20 minutes now. You know, maybe we'll do, well, it won't be at 44, we'll raise it to like 50, but one more pass around. One A. You know what, and maybe on the next launch, instead of having 2 payloads, we'll just have 1. I know it's like, maybe I'll launch the 4th one is just kind of, because I launched 2 communication satellites per mission, but I only need 3. So I was like, maybe I'll just launch the 4th one and just say it's a spare, but I can just take it off. Okay. Warp up there. Alright. Raise that up to... Raise that up to 50. We're gonna quick save just in case. We're gonna drop back down. One more time, one more pass. And then we'll be good. Okay. And then we'll circularize from there, and then, you know, we'll go ahead and we'll launch another satellite. This one should be easier, considering we don't have to, deploy 2 satellites now. We just need to do 1. Although the second satellite deployment wasn't actually that bad, all things considered. So... I like this music. It's a great soundtrack. Thank you for recommending this, Bill. It's great. Perfect background stream music. Okay. it's gonna slow me down much anymore. Okay, yeah. I think for the sake of not spending the next 20 more minutes aerobraking, I think this might just be our last pass, and I'll just take the L on the fuel. Okay. Actually, for the next launch, if we're only launching one, we could save a little bit of, we could eject the core, just go direct, instead of going into a parking orbit first with our core stage, because the core stage does make it to orbit. It needs to be deorbited, so... Yeah, I think on the way back up, that'll be below 300, and that might be a bit too safe, or close for my liking. So yeah, this is going to be our last re-entry pass. Ugh. Okay, let's see. Uh, 2,000 meters a second. That's actually a decent amount. To be fair, there isn't any payload up here, so I really don't know what else to say at this point. We will be launching our next mission in a little bit, a little while. How long is the soundtrack for? Oh, it's almost over. I'm gonna have to refresh it, but there's the Mun. Okay. Yeah, I think that'll be perfect. Because we're still at 56, we still got a ways up, so... Warp to sunrise? I'm in orbit. Actually, yeah, I guess I am... Well, technically I'm in the atmosphere. What would this do? I kind of don't want to know. It'd probably just engage the physics warp, and that's about it. Just posted something in fictional rarity you might like. Ooh, I will take a look. Because, you know, this is fine now. I don't need to worry about this thing. The W&O has breached containment. Oh, it has. You know, the funny thing is in the Washington, Ohio universe, there also is a railroad with the acronym P&O, but it's Potomac and Ohio, which is a... Just imagine, like, a weird cross between, say, the New York, Ontario, and Western, and... like, the Western Maryland just exists in Virginia with a really terrible route, but it has coal, so... okay. 66 kilometers. I think we are good. We're gonna go ahead and deploy our solar panels back out. We're gonna warp up to here. Oh, that's still physics warp. I don't want the physics warp. Okay. To save the fuel, we're just going to use our RCS for this. So. The liquid fuel is the more important part anyways, so. Actually, I realized, considering the rate that would just going down and we still need to dock this thing, yeah, I'm gonna use our main engine. Yeah, that's better. Okay. 100 kilometers. I always put everything at 100 kilometers. That's my standard orbit. Okay, relight that. And there we go. 100 kilometers. And then we'll warp over here, bring that to 100 kilometers, and then this mission is basically done after this. We can go ahead and we can launch another one, so. Oh, hello? There we go. Okay. There we go. This is now complete. We're gonna go ahead and put that into hibernation, because why not? Yeah. First 2 communication satellites delivered, go to the tracking station, and now it's 20 days later. I always skip 20 days between launches. We're gonna launch another one. We're gonna terminate these. Cover. 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 There we go. We got ourselves a communication network. Yeah. We got ourselves the beginning of a communication network. Now we just need another satellite right there, and we should be good. So, I don't know. I really like seeing all the communication lines. It's really satisfying to see. Okay. There is a Moho transfer window in 69 days. I don't really know what we can send to Moho at this point. Probably just like a really tiny probe. But let's go ahead into the spaceplane hangar. And let's go ahead and load up Odysseus 1 with Hermes communication satellites. And what we can do is we can just say, just get rid of that. Get rid of that strut connector. Open up. Oh, the music is over. There we go. Playlist begins again. Hermes ComSat. Merge. Oh, I did not mean to do that. Open. Hermes ComSat, where's that? Merge. Oh, I merged the entire vehicle. Oh no. By the way, Charmish, if you were wondering, this is what the Odysseus 1B looks like. The Odysseus 1A is just a center stick. The payload fairing is also different. The payload fairing on this is an extended payload fairing, and not just like a normal payload fairing. So let me actually go ahead and make it the normal payload fairing again. There we go. Because this is just going to be, instead of sats, sat. Just the one. Hermes ComSat. Merge. Looks sick. Yes, yes it does. Reroute. And root part. Yeah, it is very cool. I really love the way this came out. I added decals to it to make it look a lot better than it actually would be otherwise. I think this looks amazing. Also have a little America 250 logo on here because someone in the last stream suggested that, you know, it kind of is very American, as you can see. It's like, you might as well add the semi-sesquicentennial logo or something. Okay. So this time, we're only launching one satellite. Not two, just one. Just the one. Hold Hold up. Actually, wait, hold up. I still need to change some things. Okay. Well, this is actually going to be launch vehicle 0005. Because I like to put the serial numbers on there because I put the serial numbers on the upper stage, keep the upper stages around. And then this is actually going to be Hermes C. Because it's, you know. There we go. Save. Switch editor. I always build in the spaceplane hangar because the camera controls are just infinitely better than the VAB. Yeah, Hermes one or the Odysseus 1B is kind of our workhorse rocket. I have a feeling. I got a feeling, as they say. They were playing. I was in the student union the other day. We were just walking through there for some miscellaneous reason, and they were playing "I Got a Feeling," which is like, oh my gosh, it's a Beatles song. It's the first time I've ever heard them. In my 2 years at the college I go to, I've never heard them play a Beatles song in there before. I'm like, yes. So naturally, I was very excited. Hold up. This is gonna be goofy again. Save. Okay, there we go. It was just, I think it was attaching to the text decal, which, like, okay. I also add these on, the little launch clamps, not because I particularly need them, but just because I think they look cool. It makes things look really cool. I like to make my launch vehicles look cool. That is something which I really enjoy doing because, you know, stock parts. I mean, I obviously use mostly just stock parts, but after a while, it's like, you know, it's the same combination. It looks the same. Everything kind of looks the same after a while when you're using stock parts like that. And it's like, I kind of want to spruce it up a little bit. Okay, there we go. America 250, we got the Hermes C communication satellite. I'm just using the normal fairing on this one. I'm not going to use the extended fairing, and I'm not going to use a shortened fairing because, you know, you don't go or change the fairing on a real rocket around like that, you know, unless you have a very good reason to. So, in this case, we're just going to use the normal fairing that I use for all of these vehicles. Okay. We're going to head back out to Complex 40. Let me take a sip of my water. I love how my tracking does that whenever I take a sip of water. Hold on. Oh no, I've run out of water. Okay, well, this is going to be an evening launch. Well, I guess it really doesn't matter because, you know. Okay. Evening launch. That looks nice. That looks really cool. What's this? LV0005, fifth launch vehicle. Man, that is giving some serious Delta IV Heavy vibes right now. More Delta IV than Falcon Heavy, but the little the way that the boosters are configured, the engines down here, just reminds me of Atlas. because although or original Atlas, not Atlas V, although there's no like stage and a half, it's just the 2 engines right there, and that's fine. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and fly this thing. So 10, 9, 8, hold up, 7, hold up, I want to get a good photo. 6, 5, 4. And liftoff of the Odysseus 1B rocket carrying the last Hermes geostationary communication satellite. Beautiful day for an evening launch. Actually, man, jellyfish effect in Kerbal Space Program, excuse me. By the way, during launches, I don't really pay attention to chat because, you know, I'm focusing on launching the rocket, so, that is very, very pretty looking. I love that thing. I love this thing. Throttle back. Throttle up again. Kilometers. Okay, we are coming up on stage separation. I always throttle back for that too. Alright. Side core cutoff. There they go. Pull away. Excellent. Throttle up the core. Now we can begin to pitch over more. Deploy the fairing. Oh my gosh. I did that too early. We have had an anomaly? Oh well. Considering it's an actual mission, I'm not gonna bother to revert, but it's just gonna go into the ocean now, I guess. Had an anomaly. True. Hello, Gam. Welcome in. You know what? I said I'm not gonna revert, but I mean, what else could I do at this point? What's up? Hello. Do I just revert? I said I wasn't gonna do it. Now I kind of want to. Oh well. You know what? We'll revert. I am copping out. We'll just revert. That was a dumb screw up on my part, but hello, Kerbal Space Program? Game didn't crash. Okay. All right, now we're gonna properly lock in on this and not, you know, dally around. We're gonna do okay. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and liftoff of the Odysseus 1B rocket carrying the last Hermes geostationary communication satellite. Gravity turn. Okay. Roll back a little bit. Yeah, I deploy that fairing way too low. Dumb mistake on my part. Roll back up. Okay, coming up on booster separation. Mighty rotation. Cut off. There we go. Right, now time for throttle up. Pitch over. We're not going to deploy that fairing. I think the minimum deployed is like 40 kilometers, I believe. What works best with this rocket. Okay, now that we're getting high up. Okay, yeah. All that back. And we're going to go ahead and deploy. Yeah, there we go. That's better. Okay. That's going to be a bit of a different profile, because normally I'd take the rest of this into a parking orbit, and then do a burn up, but I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to do a direct, I'm just going to go direct geostationary. We're going to try that, see how that works. Because we're only carrying one satellite, and this is arguably way overpowered for the kind of mission I'm doing. I don't know if I could get away with this with the smaller rocket, with the 1B, or the 1A, but... We'll see, we'll see. Alright, now it's just a matter of... effectively just pointing sideways and just burning. Yeah, this profile, yeah, this is a better profile, I think. But look at that. And part of the reason why I'm doing it like this instead of going to a normal parking orbit is that I don't like to take this core beyond low Kerbal orbit, because it's kind of dumb to do so. If I take it into a parking orbit first, but the way I can do this is I can just, if I take it direct, then I can just have this continually burn. And I don't know, it's just more realistic in my opinion, I guess I could say. I don't really have any other reason. Okay. Okay. I still need to have a little bit of delta V left over to have it deorbit, although that shouldn't be much. We'll leave like, I don't know, 200 meters a second left. Or yeah, maybe 100, just because I guess it's more realistic that way. Because one more realistic. Well, it's not carrying the weight of that. I don't know why I'm saying more realistic. My brain is starting to not function as it really should. Remove that. Oh, I was not paying attention. Sorry, I am... Okay. I'm all over tonight. Okay. Well, we can extend these out now, so... And to get that back into the proper... Not too much. There we go. Okay. So, we are on our way, I guess. Go up and warp to here. I'm gonna switch to this real quick. And we're gonna deorbit this. Yep, there we go. Switch to. I've been pinged. Aw. Okay, here we are. I gotta go now, but I wish you luck with your space shenanigans. Thank you, James, and thank you for the WNO's breach containment images. So I really do appreciate that. So, all right. Okay. Gotta head off. Getting late. Have a rest. Go to stream. Thank you, Charmic, for joining in. And for posting images of your rocket. That's very nice. No KSP isn't the most riveting of games to watch, but you know what? I appreciate that all of you show up. Both of you have a nice night, by the way. So. Okay, we're gonna cut that, and we're gonna do another burn in about 14 minutes to get ourselves into the final orbit. Well, close to the final orbit. The final orbit is actually gonna be, well, this thing. Actually, though, here's the thing. We have to align ourselves properly with the rest of the communication satellites. So... let's see. I just set that as target for a moment. Let's see, we're here. Well, I think I was using... hold up. Ah! Controls. Unset target. I was using this one we have in geostationary orbit as kind of a baseline to see like where exactly we need to be. A geostationary polar orbit. Okay, so that relay is there. That relay is there. We need to be over here. So... Yeah, we need to be kind of opposite of these two. Hold up. Doing some measurements on my screen. Okay, yeah, a couple of more orbits around. Let's actually get rid of everything that's not a relay temporarily, so it doesn't clutter it up as much. I don't know why it counts that as a relay, or serves that as a relay. We need to change that. So yeah, one or two more. Oh no, we've accidentally caught back up with it. Ah, sorry. My brain is just not working right tonight. 2. I'm getting tired if you can't tell. Yeah, there we go. There we go. Yeah, I'm getting tired. I still need to do some things before I go to bed, but that'll be fine. Okay. We're gonna lock in, and we're gonna make sure everything is okay. We're gonna get this into orbit. We're gonna go back. We're gonna dock. Okay. 8. Okay, we are in similar orbits. We're gonna go ahead and we're gonna undock that. Switch to that. Deploy all that out. Okay, where's our apoapsis? Thrust limiter to 1 temporarily. Periapsis. Okay, no, we need to lower this. What is it? What is it? .863 is what it is, so... Oh, we overshot by just a little bit. Okay, there we go. Now we just need to warp to the periapsis. And 11 meters a second, like Lockheed L-1011 TriStar, the greatest aircraft of all time. Okay. We need to decrease this also. .863. Okay, almost there. Oh no, okay, wait. Okay, where is our... Periapsis. Okay, there we go. Alright, now we have that. We're gonna rename this to... rename vessel Hermes C. And there, our geostationary network is complete. Now, one thing that I actually am going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to switch to some of these probes and reclassify what they are. Because, I don't know, it says they're relays. I'm like, that's not a relay. Oh, 10 o'clock. Nice, nice. Serve Sat 1, same sort of satellite bus. This is the first, like, payload that I launched with, classify that as a probe. And then... yeah, that is definitely not a relay. That is just a upper stage. Yeah, we're reclassifying that as a... that's just a ship. Go. Hermes B, not Hermes C. Switch to. I just realized that I didn't really bother with like inclination and all that, and it's like, it's fine. Okay, 2,000 meters a second left in this thing. But we're also going to rename this as a ship. Odysseus 1 LV0005 upper stage. Just accumulating these things as time goes on. Okay. So, now what we're going to do is we're going to drop this out of orbit. We're going to bring this back to low Kerbal orbit. We're going to dock this with the other upper stage. Oh shit, I did not mean to full throttle right there. Okay. Well, let's see. Okay. 100 kilometers. We're going to bring that down to 45. Last few, we'll use the RCS to trim. Okay. And down to 45. Excellent. We're going to quick save. And we have about 2,000 meters a second left, which is pretty decent. We're going to go ahead and we're going to warp down here. And now let's do a whole bunch of aerobraking again. Although this time it'll probably be more efficient aerobraking. So, we're going to go ahead and we're going to retract these solar panels. I can't revert flight at this point, so whatever happens, happens. Okay, we should change that to an upper stage as well. And those as well. 29,000 meters a second at delta V. Okay, we're gonna meters a second, or meters, 2,970 whatever meters a second is our speed. We have 2,484 meters a second at delta V. Okay. We're gonna see this time. The key number right here to look for is if my hat is not covering it. Oh, it's not. It's the critical thermal percentage right there. That's the key metric. If that gets to 100, we are screwed. You're going 3,000 meters a second. Already dropping. It's dropping by a lot. Yeah, okay. This is way more efficient aerobraking. That's 60%. I would go below 45, but eh. Yeah, as you can see, it's that particular part is starting to overheat at this speed. It'll yeah, it's topping out right now, as you can see. It's starting to go down, so that's good, but you have 4014 electric charge. Oh my gosh. Stretch. Stretchy, stretch, stretch. Okay. Alright, well that put a fairly big dent. Okay, yeah. Man. Yeah, that put quite a dent in our orbit. Of course, you know, the way orbital mechanics work is the further you get from the body that you're orbiting, the slower you need to go to actually orbit the stupid thing. So. Okay, out of the atmosphere. No, we're not. We are. We're not out of the atmosphere just yet. Now we are. Okay. Gonna warp up there. Just real quick, we're gonna boost our... just a little bit. Yeah, there we go. And now it's time for another pass. Whee! Round 2. One of these days I am actually going to aerobrake too low and I am going to burn up. But that day is not today. The day is not now. Oh, that's better. That down there. Well, that just tells me what's up there. Docking mode. Display staging. I mean, that's probably the most helpful, but I also have that up here and up here. Okay, second pass. Ugh. Everything's looking good so far. Where are we? We over the desert? Oh yeah. Yes, we are. The other space center, I believe, is right over there, but I can't really think I can see it. That might be the desert temple is right there, and then the other space center is somewhere over. Yeah, I think that was it. Yeah, desert airfield is down there, and temple's down there. Ugh. Stretch. I'm getting tired. As I said, I'm driving home to my parents tomorrow, and I'm mostly packed, but I'm taking my PC with me, so I need to unplug everything after the stream is over, and, like, take my microphone and pack all that away. Yeah. But that won't take too long. People still in the voice call? Oh my gosh, there's a billion people in that voice call that I will probably join after. Eh. Everything went well with your classes? Yeah. I had my last midterm today. It was in calculus. It's a lot easier than I thought it would be. Yeah, my accounting midterm, which was going to be the hardest because the tests in that class, that entire class, just, I got a 68, which on the surface sounds kind of bad, but then you realize that the average for the class is like a 50 on the exam. And I do all the extra credit, and all the extra credit adds up to a full letter grade. So even after this, my grade is still good. So okay, almost in orbit yet again. Well, almost in space yet again. Sweet, awesome job. Yes. We're gonna warp around. Okay, another pass we go. Yeah, the latest I'd want to be in bed by is like 11:30 tonight, maybe. Although I say, like, you know, it's just a matter of, well, I gotta finish my packing and, like, brush my teeth. There really isn't much to do, so... Okay, here we go, we're re-entering. Ugh, I am tired, though. We'll do our rendezvous, we'll dock with the other craft, and then we'll be done for tonight. I didn't expect to do 2 missions. I expect this to be a relatively short stream, because I'm like, I kind of want to go to bed, but... We got our communication satellite deployed. Network deployed, which is nice. And then, I guess after that, as I said, I guess we'll start building the fuel depot, which is literally just going to be, a truss with a bunch of these things docked together. Okay. Here we go. Okay. 1 or 2 more passes. Probably one. Well, we'll see. Maybe 1 more pass after this, and then we'll be good. Man, 5 kilometers difference in altitude when you're aerobraking makes a lot of difference. Because what I'm doing here, for the uninitiated, I'm basically using the atmosphere as a brake. It's aerobraking. You're using the atmosphere to help slow you down so you can get into the proper orbit. So I'm not burning any fuel from this. So it's basically free. uh, free loss of speed, basically. Okay. Stretch. Only 20 minutes? Okay, yeah. Orbital period is very much down. Orbital period is basically how long it takes you to complete a single orbit, because, well, our orbit is smaller now. Where are we flying over? Oh yeah. Kind of the same area as before. Now we're in the upper part of the atmosphere, so there's not going to be much in terms of aerobraking, so... Yeah, we'll give it one more pass, and I think we'll be good to finish this. Yeah, I'm at the point of the stream where I have no idea what to talk about. I don't know what to say. What do I even say? We're gonna warp up here. I guess what I'm doing over break, I'm doing nothing, basically. The only time I'm really planning on going out is me and one of my friends are gonna go to Southeastern Railway Museum, but that's about it. Other than that, I'm just kind of gonna stay at home and, I don't know, do things at home. One thing I do want to do over break is, I do want to, refresh my OS. Like, do a complete reboot on my computer. I'm gonna have to take all my files and whatnot off of that, to, you know, help me fix that. But chilling and vibing is best combo. Yes, yes, indeed. Okay, we're gonna re-enter now. One more pass. Normally I would have gone to bed by now. Oh well. I guess the trick is to not, like, overdo myself. Because over winter break, I was like, I'm going to do all of these wonderful things, you know, with my free time. Because I feel like, oh, I have to spend every single second of my free time working on some sort of project. And it's like, nah, you just stress yourself out in a different way even more. So I don't have any, like, big set plan. I'm just, you know, whatever I feel like doing, I'll do. So... Yeah, the aerobraking gets less effective over time because, well, you're bleeding off the same amount of speed. It's just that because you're in a lower and lower orbit, each time you need to go faster and faster to stay in your orbit. You're not, your orbit doesn't change as much. So I might just say screw it and just do the rendezvous next time around. Just get this into a stable orbit around Kerbin, and then we'll probably just end the stream there. I did want to dock this with the other craft, but I don't really feel like doing that. Because if we're gonna send the little truss segment up and begin assembling that little like orbital fuel dump, we're gonna need a we're gonna have to rendezvous all of these with that anyways, so it really doesn't matter. Okay. Yeah, it's probably going to be our last pass, and we'll get this into a circular orbit, and then we'll be done with the stream for tonight. Man, we streamed for, like, almost 3 hours, which is 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, almost 3 hours, which is quite long for me, but the KSP streams tend to be quite long. I do like how we were just flying missions today. That was really nice. Are we streaming tomorrow? No, I am not. I am driving home tomorrow, and then when I get home, I am going to crash. And I don't know. Driving back, well, I am home right now. I'm driving back to my parents is what I should say. Which is 4 hours away, so I won't be streaming tomorrow, so I might be streaming Sunday night. I do want to stream at least twice next week. So one KSP and one railroader probably. I just have to figure out when. But okay, we have our last aerobraking pass. And we are good. Well, I'm still bleeding off a little bit more speed. That was actually more effective than the last one. Okay, so I think the trick is just keep the periapsis at 45 and do like three passes or so, and then you should be good. Yeah, that's perfect, right? Yeah, that's great. You know, I wonder, because I was saying earlier, like, with New Glenn, Blue Origin does have that inflatable heat shield, the tech that they're working on, and I do wonder though, you know, are they gonna try and aerobrake upper stages in real life, like of New Glenn, of Glenn Stage 2 and Glenn Stage 3, which, I mean, Glenn Stage 3 isn't, it's leaked, it's not, like, officially confirmed out there, but it's basically confirmed because people leaked it. I guess also with Starship, like, would Starship aerobrake? That would also be interesting to see. Anyways, that was our final aerobrake for today. We're gonna go ahead and we're gonna extend our solar panels out, and, yeah, now I know how to make this, how to get this to work. Sleepy Boyle, I wish rats were average. Hello! Man, I haven't seen you in a while. You came in just at the end of the stream, but... How have you been? I'm actually very tired right now. I need to get to bed. Okay. Relight that engine. hold up. Final trim. And then warp over there. Pretty good. I haven't been catching streams as often after quitting Discord. That's fair, that's fair. My spring break starts this week, which is nice. There we go. Okay, we are done. I'm gonna put that in hibernation. This is back in its proper orbit. I'm going to surfsat. I need to go change these to ships just to make everything consistent, otherwise my brain will freak out. Yeah, we've been going for about 3 hours now, so quite a extended period of time for my stream. Anyways, what did I miss in like 4 months? I took a break between like late November and early January or early February. And that's pretty much it. I really haven't done much myself either, so. Okay, back to tracking station. Here's 1C. Gotta fly that. Dang, I missed nothing. Yeah, basically. You missed nothing. Hello? Kerbal Space Program? Okay, KSP, like, briefly did not respond, and I got really worried there for a second. Rename vessel, probe. Okay, tracking station. Okay. Let's go ahead and just recover those. Okay. Oop. Where's that? Okay, I hit my microphone. But yeah, here we go. This is we have our communication satellite up. The Hermes series, A, B, and C. We now have, well, that's just remaining in that orbit. We have a couple of little CubeSats, which I've deployed. A couple of upper stages. We got 2 upper stages here. And I think next Kerbal Space Program stream, which will probably be next week, what we'll do is we will begin to put together our orbital fuel depot, and then I guess the launch after that might be a probe out to Moho. Although there's a probe out to, there's a dual transfer window coming up too, so I guess we'll see. But yeah, thank you all for watching. Thank you, Gam, Sleepy Boyle, Thrillville 109, Charmich, James, Ryan, and I think that's about it. That's everyone who joined tonight. So, I don't know who to raid, but thank you all for watching, and I will be back next week for, I will be back next week for more KSP and Railroader once again. So take care, thank you all everyone for watching, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Goodbye everybody.